Standing O. Loved it.
Standing O.
Standing orgasms from all of us.
I was going to say...
Hello, Jasons and Melissas, and welcome back to the fourth and final season of Rewatching Home Movies, a weekly watch-along podcast where three friends break down the 1999 animated series Home Movies. My name's Tim, and I'm obsessed with home movies.
My name's Adele, and I'm a home movies newbie.
And my name's Marcin, and I've never seen home movies.
Home Movies Season 4, Episode 2, titled Camp.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, as a layup, like easy layup.
Yeah.
Original air date January 11th, 2004 on Adult Swim. Written by Brendan Small, Bill Broaddus, and cast. Directed by Lauren Bouchard and produced by Jack Ferraiolo.
Where's Carl Adams?
Carl Adams is doing the audio production now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, synopsis for this episode. Brendan, Jason, and Melissa join a performing arts camp. Meanwhile, Coach encounters a group of men simply known as the Cry Walkers.
Cry Walkers.
You get caught up in the...
Cry Walkers, making you cry now. Get your steps in while you are crying. That's
Nice.
Yeah.
it. Now,
So this was the episode that I think was spoiled in the last two interviews. I say spoiled for me because I'm a big baby when it comes to anything going forward. But they said camp. I've heard that name several times, and I have always tried to skip past it. So I knew there was a title of an episode called Camp. And then Steven let it be known that there is a musical in season 4. That was the thing where I was like, they let one thing slip. So I knew, and I probably should have put 2 and 2 together when Adele was like, hey, because this was supposed to be a remote recording, but
Right.
Adele texted me yesterday, like, this would be a great in-person record. So I was like, all right, okay. I should have put the 2 and 2 together. I really should have.
I demanded that he be here.
Yep. Well, very fun episode, but before we jump into that, let's jump into the creative corner. Of course, the creative corner is something in the realm of creativity. We're producing or consuming something we want to bring to light. Under contractual obligation, bring us in, Count.
Creative Corner. Totally do.
I like how there's like laughter in the background, like very faintly.
What?
I think that was me. Because at first I just saw his penis, and I was like, why? Put on some clothes, Count.
Hey, he's just live and let live, man.
Let it all hang loose.
That's right. So this creative corner, who would like to go first, or shall I?
I'll go first.
Adele.
Mine's pretty short. I want you guys all to go back in time. Maybe you're in grade school. Maybe you're in college. I don't know you when you found this, but you're in a library and you find the I Spy books for the first time. And you open it up, and it's all these elaborate, beautiful scenes that you got to find things in, right?
Sure.
Well, I just learned earlier this week, which I probably, as a child, I never thought of this. I just thought, oh, magic book. There's a man who sets up all these little scenes by hand. They're all tiny little sets, and then he takes pictures of them. And that's the whole I Spy book. And if you go through all these old I Spy books, they're like very elaborate.
Yeah.
And the guy's name is Walter Wick. And we live in a time, especially now, that shit like that doesn't happen anymore. The meticulous planning, the tiny little figurines. And there's something wholesome about it. And I just wanted to shine a light on it. So go look at an I Spy book.
Wait, so are you saying those are all like miniatures?
Like miniature scenes, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
When you said the I Spy book, it really did bring me back in time, because I was like, oh my God, I'm in 4th grade library, like opening opening the book and looking at these things, because I have a distinct memory of feeling so good when I would find things in those I Spy books. And I think things like that still exist, of like how much work and preparation people put into it, but it's just buried.
It really is.
Under all of this things that is not worth being celebrated, but are. Especially the I Spy books, or like the the Where is Wally, as they will say it, not in American.
Oh my gosh. I remember having Where's Waldo books.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember having special feelings while looking through those books, because they're like, there's like some sexual scenes in those books, and they're for like little kids, and I was like, what is happening here?
Please bring the Where's Waldo books that you are speaking of.
Literally any of them. Literally any of them.
Well, I mean, the whole point of the book is to hide stuff, and I'm sure there's all kinds of stuff going on in those books.
Yep. I loved Where's Waldo books for sure.
That's funny.
It's very funny because like Ed specifically loved the I Spy. He had like 4 of them as a kid that he would just like open whenever we were just going somewhere, because we would all like do athletic things, and he didn't want to do any of that. So he'd just be sitting on the sidelines opening an I Spy book.
That's so wholesome. God damn it.
I was not an I Spy book kid. I was a Magic Eye book kid. I got into Magic Eyes.
Is that why you wear glasses now?
yeah. Fucked my eyes up. So nice little nostalgia creative corner there, Adele.
Yeah, even if you just go on Google and look at all these like scenes that this man created, I mean, they're genuine works of art. And I just feel like as a kid, you really just don't appreciate it. You're like, oh, it's probably fucking Photoshop or paint. I don't know. But like, you don't really have that thought as a child. So.
Yeah.
You can't conceive just how much man hours it takes to make those things and put them together. As a kid especially, that's how you feel about all art, but specifically those miniatures, crazy.
Yeah, insane. So thank you, Walter Wick, for all that you've done for us when we were kids.
Yes. Thank you for your service.
Yeah. I salute you, sir, wherever you are.
Yes. Well, here's a picture, and you got to find him within the picture.
He's dressed like Waldo.
And it's animated.
There's a lot of boobs for some reason.
For some dumb reason. Oh, great creative corner. I think, if it's okay with the rest of the class, I will go next.
Yeah.
Okay. Mine's a video game. They usually are. It's at a point now where I put a lot of time into the podcast with, both preparing and editing and all the fun stuff of it. So typically at the end of the night, usually when there's like an hour or two left before I got to go to bed, my wind down is video games. So lately I've been playing this game that I just like found randomly. It was on the Xbox Game Pass, and I believe it is on Steam, but it's called The Next Space Rebels. And it's a silly game where you build rockets. Like you start with like model rockets, and then you kind of build up from there. So half of the game is literally you're in like what looks like a blueprint and almost like a CAD program, and you're piecing all of the rocket pieces together. And they'll give you like the most random, like they'll give you like a teddy bear, and it's like, all right, cool, I'm going to launch this teddy bear and blow it up. Like fun. But the other part of the game is you create these rockets, and then once you launch them, you're creating videos to post on basically like a YouTube-esque channel. So now you're managing like YouTube comments and messages and stuff like that too. And the whole thing is you're building rockets, and you become part of this community. And all of them are kind of like these off-the-wall characters played by like real people. So it's like actual like video of people. It's not like, video game. It's like actual people acting. And they create this like network of space rebels. And it gets to a point in the game where you're kind of like, man, fuck YouTube, man. Like they kind of fucking suck. I don't want to give away any spoilers of the story, but part of the game becomes figuring out what you want to do with they call it StarTube in the game, but how you want to approach StarTube, and if you want to continue to kind of be part of them, or if you want to say, you know what, I'm fuck this, dude. I'm going against all this crap. So it's a very interesting story weaved into a mechanic of simultaneously maintaining a YouTube channel, and then the other aspect is just building rockets and launching them and blowing shit up. So, yeah, Next Space Rebels.
That sounds very interesting.
Yeah.
Because you going back and forth between building rockets and then also just starting a YouTube channel, StarTube channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember watching Video Game Donkey do a similar like YouTube game where you had to be a YouTuber, and it drove him up a wall.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because being a content creator at any point is incredibly hard, but then building rockets also incredibly hard.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty silly game. Like, parts of it are very serious where it's like you're literally fighting capitalism and all this shit. And then some of it is like, hey, build a rocket out of toys and then launch it so it lands in this dumpster. And you're like, okay. So, yeah, Next Space Rebels, I'm pretty sure it's on Steam. It's one of those indie games you can probably scoop for like $20 or less. And the thing is, it's so like underplayed and like not a lot of people really know it. So if you're stuck, like you're kind of screwed. There's no walkthroughs for it. There's no like huge YouTubers playing the game. Like you just kind of got to figure it out. So yeah, a really fun game. It played okay on Xbox, but I just couldn't do it with a controller. Like it's a definite mouse and keyboard kind of game, especially when you're like building your rocket and piecing it all together. So. Yeah.
See, you keep coming up with all of these like video games, and you like get down on yourself for like, oh, I got another video game, but like those are that's art too. And like,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I have no idea where you keep pulling these great games out of. Because I have such a struggle of looking for a game that I actually want to like get captivated by.
Yeah.
Except for Night in the Woods, which everyone is telling me to fucking play, and I know I will.
It's a pretty good game.
I know, but it's scary. But I genuinely, where do you like play all these games or find all these games, or who tells you about all these games?
Sometimes it's just, you hop on Steam, or this one was originally Xbox Game Pass. And I have a soft spot in my heart for indie games, silly little indie games developed by one or two people, always my jam. So Switch as well. Switch has a ton of indie games, and they're always on sale for like $1 or $2. So sometimes this is going through Steam or the Nintendo shop or Xbox or whatever, and just digging deep into the list of games. Sometimes you just find content creators you click with online, and like, oh, if they like this game, I'll probably like it too. But a lot of times it's just playing them. I mean, you usually play about 10 stinkers before you run into like a hidden gem. So yeah, that's how it goes.
Yeah, there's a like a professional box wrestling game that I've been wanting to play. It's like 50 cents, but everyone tells me it's bad. It's just like professional wrestling, but you're a box. I don't know.
Yeah.
It sounds very fun to me, but they're
right.
And it's 50 cents. Fuck it.
Yeah. Well, that's usually what happens. Is I'm like, I got 50 cents.
Yeah, it's only 50 cents. It's not like it's $60,
$70, $80.
Oh yeah, the new developer for Borderlands 4. Like, there's a rumor somebody's like, man, this game could be $80, and he's just like, hey, if you like the game, you'll pay $80 for it, won't you, bitch?
Ooh.
Yeah, no.
He didn't say bitch, but
I mean, it was implied.
Yeah.
It was in the tone.
Yeah. Great creative corner.
Thank you.
Then I will go last, obviously. So it's going to sound like this is a repeat of a creative corner, but I promise it's not, because previously one of my creative corners was I saw the TV glow. And at the time when I was talking about it, I didn't want to say anything. I didn't want to ruin it for people. I really didn't. And since you've been listening to this podcast, if you started from the beginning, maybe you went and watched it. If not, I'm going to talk about it a little bit more in depth. So I bought the Blu-ray.
Nice.
From A24. I saw the TV glow. Last time I talked about it, it became like one of my favorites, but since then I've watched it like 3 separate times, and it's become my favorite movie. Mm-hmm. And one of the things I was wondering is like, why do I love this movie so much? And just thinking about it, because everyone's like, it's an LGBTQ story, obviously. It's just this idea of finding a part of yourself and being scared by it, because we're in this like reality where people tell you not to be that way. Mm-hmm. And that definitely resonates with me. But one of the things that really resonated me with the film, and you guys have seen it, I don't know your interpretation, I don't want to change it or anything, but from my interpretation, there's a moment where Owen is sitting there after discovering a part of himself, and then suddenly sees the cracks in reality and starts seeing like things like that he shouldn't be seeing. And I think that's where it started to like to hit me like, oh, that's it. Like, we in this room have seen the cracks in reality while other people choose to ignore it just so they can stay in their safe little lane. Now, that's one of the reasons I love I Saw the TV Glow. Please go watch it. I don't want to ruin anything for it because it is genuinely such a masterpiece. It's so good. And anyone I've talked to about it has said, like, oh, this is like, I want to say, like, they have said this is like the first movie that they've seen from our generation, from things that have brought our generation of our trauma and things that have, like, affected us. And, like, it's a real piece of art and masterpiece. But that is not my creative corner, but it goes into my creative corner. There's a YouTuber named Jessie Gender. She's a trans woman. She does a lot of video essays specifically about, like, things that affects, LGBTQ people and just in general the politics of today. My creative corner is a video essay that she did, and it's called The Stories Fascism Fears Most. And it's a long video essay, but I highly recommend it. It goes into depth about how we need stories that don't just go against the status quo, but talk about a world or a reality that is much better than this, because there are ideas of a better world, a better life, if you will, outside of the one that we have around us, surrounding us in, like, this little box. And she goes into depth about all of these different stories, about how we need these stories to be here so we can have something that we can strive for, these ideas. I re-listened to it on the way up here because I had a long fucking drive, I'll tell you that. But I re-listened to it, and it's an incredible, beautiful video essay about just stories that give people hope and tell people that this isn't what this world is supposed to be. We're not supposed to feel this way. We're supposed to be striving for a better tomorrow, a progressive tomorrow. And she goes into depth about all of these different movies that kind of push that narrative and push away. And she specifically talks about how in today's society, in capitalism, under capitalism, when a movie comes out and it's portrayed as, like, an anti-capitalist message, anti-this, system message, how they take it and they twist it and they change it to make it fit whatever narrative they want, specifically like The Matrix,
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Dude.
Yeah.
Oof.
It's, oh my gosh. Like, along those lines, I have been, like, the whole, like, misunderstanding the source material. If you have a Punisher flag with a Blue Lives Matter
Yeah.
stripe through it, you do not understand what the fuck Punisher, who he is and what he stood for.
Yeah, you lost the plot.
Oh,
on that.
exactly.
A little bit, I would say.
Oh, yeah, and I haven't seen the new Matrix Resurrections, but she talks about how one of the Wachowski sisters chose to take that project on because she wanted to talk about how her message has been misconstrued and changed into this, like, hyper-masculine thing, and now Matrix Resurrections is about collective power instead of just one individual power. I don't want to spoil the entire thing. Dinner with Andre is one of the movies she talks about. She talks about the TV show Andor, and she talks about all of these different projects that, like, talk about this fight to get to a better tomorrow, like a Star Trek, not a utopia, but a more progressive area where we don't have to fight against a system that truly makes our lives hell.
Yeah.
So I don't want to go more into it. I highly recommend her as a video essayist, but highly recommend please listen to The Stories Fascism Fears Most as a video essay, because it really, I think if you're a writer, if you're an artist, it kind of gives you a direction to go with your art to kind of change the world. So that is my creative corner.
Hell yeah.
What's her name again?
Jessie Gender. Jessie space Gender.
Nice. I do like video essays.
Yeah, same. We'll have to watch that later.
Absolutely.
Damn, ended on a strong note. We all had great creative corners.
Let's go.
Let's
Great creative
go.
corners for a great fucking episode of Home Movies.
Absolutely. Let's go. I actually really, I'm glad I came
Hell yeah.
out here. I had a long fucking drive. A semi got turned over on the highway, so it was a big traffic, but I'm glad I came here. This episode was great.
Yes.
All right, gang. So this episode opens up. We're in a forest at night around a bonfire. And guys, should this be our clip?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, fuck it. Roll it. Let's go. Perfect.
What was that?
Come, Cloud Chaser, come with us. It is time for you to cry walk.
No, you know what? I'm fine. I'm gonna stay here, hang out. Thanks. And also, stop calling me Cloud Chaser.
You must follow us as we cry and man hug through the forest.
Yes, Cloud Chaser. It is our man destiny to cry walk, so that we may be in touch with our true emotional man self.
We will walk through the forest and we will look at the treetops and we will cry.
And we'll play the drums.
Right. Look, you guys advertised this as some free camping trip. Where's Gary?
My name is Feathernest.
You didn't tell me there was hugging. You said this was a camping trip with guys. I thought there was going to be hunting, too. Where are the guns?
Where's the gay stuff?
We're hunting for the man inside.
And you said there'd be beer. And there was. But now there isn't, so I'm going to leave.
No, we believe it is best that you stay.
No, this just isn't up my alley.
But Cloud Chaser.
Cloud Chaser.
Look, I'm not joking. I don't like the name Cloud Chaser. I really don't like it.
You're in danger.
Bullshit.
Danger of what?
You're in denial.
You are in denial.
He's in denial.
He is in denial.
I'm not denying. I just don't like it here.
Cloud Chaser, do not deny yourself of the emotional man forest
No,
nature.
for me, this doesn't get better, all right? I've had my fun here. I'm leaving. I don't cry walk, and I don't like the nicknames.
All those in favor for a man vote, say aye.
Aye.
All those in favor of Cloud Chaser taking the cry walk, say man.
Man!
We have taken a man vote.
We have a mandate.
Guys, I'm serious. Somebody call the van.
Cloud Chaser, we think of you as a friend.
May I touch you?
No, don't. Don't.
They're
It is very
giant.
important.
It is
Yeah.
good. Touch
You don't
him.
touch Cloud Chaser.
Take my
He
hand
looks
now.
like a child,
He
It is time for a man hug.
No,
which
I'm not
might be
man-hugging.
symbolism.
Men, join me.
I don't even hug women.
Hug.
Get back!
Hug, hug, hug.
Don't come any closer! I'm serious! Oh my God!
After him.
I had a fantasy about that once.
Nice.
And that's how we start this episode.
Can I point out something?
Please.
So Tim and I watched this episode a couple days ago, and Tim said that in his head canon, there's a guy there that has two heads, and in Tim's head canon, he says that it's Walter and Perry's dads hugging under a robe, and when you look at the hands, two different colored hands, same skin color as both Walter and Perry. So I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right.
So, yeah, this was something I did want to bring up. I think I mentioned in the very, very first episode that in this show sometimes there's just silly headcanon that I make up for no reason. And yeah, that was mine. In the group of Crywalkers, there's one in the back
Oh my god.
that is obviously two people in one hood.
Yeah.
And I always said, yeah, maybe this is Walter's dad and Perry's dad, who are just
Really
very
good
friendly.
friend.
Yeah.
Yes, and they were roommates.
They were roommates.
And Walter and Perry see this and say, yeah, hugging is okay.
Yeah.
Hugging is fine.
Our dads are good friends.
And they hug all the time.
They sure do.
I mean, they never hug.
Oh my gosh, but the fact that the hands are two different colors, I mean, that kind of seals it. in
We
my
see a
eyes.
scene later, too, where it looks like they are kind of hugging each other.
Yeah.
So,
Damn.
With
Yeah.
them in the robes, it kind of reminds me of the weird demon poltergeist from the movie Ghost with Patrick Swayze. The ones that come in with the chains and like just take them, and that was the scariest thing I've ever seen. But those hoods specifically always freaked me out.
Yeah.
The fact that we don't see their faces at all the entire episode, like, freaks me out.
yeah. Well, we transition from this scene to a sign for Camp Campingston Falls. Now, let's make note of the name of this camp because it is, as the sign shows, Camp Campingston Falls. Okay? But if you really listen, that S in Campingston really kind of comes and goes as it pleases. And I think it was mainly due to Mike and Miguel, the junior music counselors. When they sang about Camp Campingston Falls, sometimes they just sing Camp Campington Falls. So
Which one's the one with the square glasses?
that would be Mike.
That was one of my doodles.
Nice.
Yes. Did you know who voices Mike and Miguel?
He gave off Weezer vibes.
You're not too far off. Mike and Miguel are voiced by John Linnell and John Flansburgh, who are from the band They Might Be Giants.
Hey, I know one song by that band, and it's good.
Yep. Apparently, their sound guy was a fan of home movies. He contacted Soup to Nuts to tell him, hey, I'm a big fan of the show. because he was a fan, the two members, John and John, were also fans. So yeah, they wrote an episode to get them in as voice actors.
I love that in real life that both of their names are John, and in the show it's Mike and
Mike and
Miguel.
Miguel,
Same-
yeah.
same name.
Yeah, Brendan even mentioned in commentary, he's like, yeah, we're clever.
I think so.
So we see Brendan, Jason, and Melissa, and they're like pouring sweat. Brendan explains that he has high hopes for this summer. He's going to come out of his shell. Or, more specifically, somebody is going to take him under his wing. He said he's going to start out as an underdog and then win a race or something. Jason and Melissa ask if they can come out of their shells too, and Brendan agrees. So Melissa suggests they grab their bags and go to their bunk. And that's when Brendan and Jason confess that they don't have any bags. Melissa explains that it's overnight camp, and they're going to be there for a week. But this is apparently news to Brendan and Jason, who thought it was day camp. Brendan changes the subject by pointing out that Dwayne's here.
Let's go.
So before the episode started, Adele was like, I think this is my new favorite episode, and I knew there was like 3 things that could have made that happen, and one of them was Dwayne. So when he popped up, I was like, yep.
Yeah. I'm a sucker for Dwayne. What can I say?
Yep. Well, Dwayne explains that he's a junior counselor along with Mike and Miguel. And Dwayne informs them that they are the counselors for Rabbit Troop, which happen to be the troop that Brendan, Jason, and Melissa are in.
While we're here, Adele, what was the list of troops in the episode?
So we had Rabbit Troop, obviously. There was also, there was debate if it was a moose or what'd you say?
A jackalope.
Yeah,
but,
so-
I'm pretty sure it's a moose.
I think
Okay,
it
we'll
was
go with moose.
I thought
but
moose, yeah.
It could be a jackalope. Who knows? Beaver, bear, and bird, which would make 5 altogether. But we only see... So the dude running the camp is wearing the moose medallion, and I think the woman running the camp is wearing the bear medallion.
Right. So it seems like the male counselor is the writing directing counselor.
Mm-hmm.
And then the woman counselor is the acting
Yeah.
counselor.
Do they get names?
No.
Okay, that's fine.
But we never see the camp counselors for bird or beaver.
No.
Yeah, so.
Okay. So, which troop would you guys be a part of?
I would want to be in Rabbit Troop for sure.
I haven't seen it, but I would probably pick Bird Troop.
Bird Troop?
Bird Troop.
They seem chill.
Yeah. They don't cause any fuss.
No.
If they just like flew drones, I would probably be That'd be dope.
Let's get them.
Bird Troop are all in the trees. They climb trees all
Yeah.
camp.
Well, so with that, we hear one of the camp counselors welcoming everyone, saying it's one of America's premier performing arts camp. We have the woman camp counselor introduce a selection from your junior music counselors. And that's when we pan to Dwayne, who has no idea they're supposed to play a song. So Miguel points out they're supposed to play the welcome song. They play the welcome song, and it's pretty basic, talking about braiding bracelets, making friends in the summertime, losing the friends in the wintertime. And then like halfway through, they kind of drop the song, and they're like, I hate the song, it blows. Well, that's when Mike points out that he has a song that he wrote called Taste the Fame. Guys, I'm going to be honest. Taste the Fame fucking slaps.
Tim will randomly sing Taste the Fame, and then I will transition into Taste the Biscuit. Taste the wonder of the biscuit.
I think I need to rewatch this episode a few more times where I'm not taking notes, because I don't think I was able to truly like get wrapped into the music, because at some point I think I became numb and I was like, they all sound this music, they got a guitar, it's fine. I don't know what they're saying. Is Taste the Fame the one that goes through the credits?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. They do like a more, Brendan says it's almost more of like a Bowie kind of take on Taste the Fame.
Nice.
Well, that version slaps from what I remember.
Yeah. Both of them do. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have it paused on these two kids just giving each other like, what is going on looks.
So, and it's funny too, because that part comes when Dwayne is singing the welcome song and he's like, we'll make friends in the summertime. And then it shows like a boy and girl in the crowd and they both kind of look at each other like, are we going to be friends? But yeah, they're playing Taste the Fame. We see a shot of the kids and they're like dancing along, like swaying back and forth. We have a quick shot of the camp counselors and the guy counselor gives the woman counselor a little like, kind of eyebrows like, huh? Yeah, look at this, huh? People digging our camp.
I think that look to me says we just got all these kids money.
Yep.
And we're not going to teach them a damn thing.
We're not going to teach them a thing. The con is on.
Yeah.
We're going to tear them down.
Our welcome song sucked ass, and this kid just came in with a way better song. We're not going to pay him for that.
I bet that mustache is fake.
Probably.
Yeah.
The following scene, we have Brendan and Jason showing Melissa their cabin, and immediately she says it's disgusting and smells like sulfur. So Brendan points out that one of the groundskeepers said the place used to be a sulfur mine, but a lot of people suffocated in the cave, so they closed it down, and now it's a performing arts camp. So as Brendan points out, they're looking at their schedules and asks Melissa if she got hers yet. That's when Melissa takes out her schedule and proceeds to rip it up. Specifically a part that says that it's swimming fun time.
So she rips off the swimming fun time, but before that she rips off like a whole chunk on the bottom.
Yeah.
That we don't get to see at all.
Right.
Is it more swimming fun time?
Probably. Melissa is obviously very upset. She says she has to take swimming fun time. At one point, she's like, "What am I, 3 years old?" And it's funny because for a second, Brendan is like, "Yeah," and then Melissa says, "I don't think so," and Brendan's like, "No."
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Spooky story time. 6 a.m. up and at 'em. No.
Boo.
Ooh. I don't know if you guys ever been to camp. I was there for Cub Scouts one time. It was a great time, but we did have to get up super fucking early.
No, I never did overnight camp. I did day camp a couple
Same.
years, and that was great. My parents would drop us off at a park. We'd hang out, play activities and stuff, and then at the end of camp, we went to a Cubs game.
Wow. Fancy schmancy. I did day camp too. We never did overnight.
We had a tent. We just stayed up, and then we would get into a tent, and then at 5 in the morning we'd get up and go get breakfast at the mess hall.
That sounds fun. I mean, not the getting up at 5 in the morning part, but
Yeah, I mean, it was fun. Don't get me wrong. It was fun, but it was it's so cold and it's early, and I want to watch Ben 10.
essentially sleeping on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I did Cub Scouts, but I never had to do actual overnight camping. So. Well, Melissa goes on a rant that this is performing arts camp, so she shouldn't have to do swimming fun time. But Jason even points out camp is 90% swimming. Melissa continues to rant, and Brendan points out, well, she's talking fast, so that's how you know she's mad. Brendan even points out there's plenty of other classes that should appeal to them, including set design, cinematography, and lighting. And even points out there's an advanced screenwriting class with a teacher who consulted on Kindergarten Cop.
Damn.
That made me laugh so hard when they said that.
Yeah.
It's not a tumor.
Why is Jason's butt so big?
Hey.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's a choice that somebody made.
Well, we all know why.
Because he likes candy.
His character design.
Brendan points out that he brought a tape of one of their movies that he can show in class tomorrow, so they're going to worship him. So, see you later, underdogs. Hello, over underdogs.
Oh my God, so I relate to Brendan a lot, especially when he starts talking about movies, and especially when he's like, "Oh yeah, here's this thing. They're gonna love me. They're gonna love us. I mean, after they see this thing that I worked on." Those weird thoughts that just pile in your mind. You're like, just go away. Stop that.
Well, we have a quick pause scene of Brendan's movie. It appears Brendan, Jason, and Melissa are dressed up as squirrels, and they're all fighting over a nut. In the background, we have a building that says Squirrel School.
Jason's cheeks are full of nuts.
Yeah, they are.
Presumably.
They're also wearing uniforms, skirts.
Yeah.
I thought they were cheerleaders because I barely got to see this. It was just a frame there, and I was like, "What was that?"
It was very quick.
A lot of blink and you miss some moments in this episode.
Oh my God, dude! I tried writing them down later when they started appearing. I was like, I can't do this. I can't do it.
Oh, there's going to be some crazy ones, and let's hope we can get them all on pause because it's going to be real quick.
Oh yeah.
The film gets turned off by the camp counselor, and he's asking, who wrote this? Brendan excitedly raises his hand and says, me, Brendan from Rabbit Troop. Now, a quick note that I did learn in the commentary is when this episode originated, Brendan was going to do the voice of the male counselor, and John Benjamin was going to do the voice of the woman counselor. But because of this scene and the next scene where the male counselor is interacting with Brendan, and then the following scene where the woman counselor is interacting with Jason, John Benjamin hates doing scenes where he has to do both voices.
Yeah.
So in a last-minute decision, they switched it up, and it worked out because this male counselor, when he keeps talking about these different directors and celebrities and what they eat, that was just John Benjamin like going off like James Cameron likes clementines.
3 months of my life.
Dude, when he started going off and he's like, yeah, I was in catering and shit like that, the weird thing that happens, especially in LA, and I really can't stand, and nothing against people from LA, but just the people who use the experience they've had on a certain set, no matter what level of the totem pole, to be like, I'm better than you now.
Right.
I know everything now.
Do you know Judge Judy? I got her a bottled water. Okay, sweetie.
Legitimately, like they were gophers on a set. Like I met this one dude who was a gopher on Avatar at one point, and it was like he used that in like almost every conversation about film. When I was on Avatar, it's like, dog, we're background extras right now. Like what are we talking about? You were a gopher. That was also in 2012. What is this? When he brought up Joel Schumacher, that fucking got me.
Yeah. The counselor writes down Brendan's name and says, we've got some work to do. We need to go back to the basics. Why? Because your script lacked form.
Damn.
And films need form. He even says, class, and the class repeats, films need form. So Brendan pushes back and says that maybe he didn't understand what he was going for, and immediately the counselor shoves it back in his face using air quotes. Didn't get what I was going for. Didn't get what I was going for. Saying we have one like you every year. This part cracks me up because he just goes off. He's like, you independent?
I'd like to think that Squirrel School was really well done, and he just got jealous and decided to go off on Brendan.
Usually I don't want to use this excuse for them, but like they're 8. And they put all this work into any project that should give them some praise.
Yeah.
I haven't seen one other camp attenders movies. I haven't seen any of them act. I do think there's a weird jealousy thing going on, and they're like attacking Rabbit Troop.
110%. This happens constantly in the film, like especially in the indie film era, where you go to a panel and someone's running a panel and they're like getting on you and telling you the rules or their opinion like it's matter of fact. Oh, this scene really boiled my blood. I've heard that guy so many different times.
Well, and it's funny too because he's asking Brendan all these, so you're independent, doing your own thing, no rules, huh? And Brendan is like, there's a lot of rhetorical things going on right now. He's saying he doesn't really know which question he's supposed to answer. The counselor says they have an indie filmmaker here, and he's a maverick. Top Gun. Who's going to be Iceman? And even does the Val Kilmer, the teeth chomp. Have you guys ever seen Top Gun?
I noticed the teeth chomp, and I didn't understand it.
There's a
I've
very
never seen Top Gun.
famous scene in Top Gun between Iceman and Maverick, so you're talking Tom Cruise and Val Kilmer, where they're kind of going back and forth, and Val Kilmer's telling Tom Cruise, like, hey, you're kind of a maverick, like, you do your own thing, and that's fucking dangerous.
Yeah.
And they go back and forth, and Val Kilmer just, in the middle of them arguing, does this, like tooth chomp.
Yep.
And the director does it.
Yeah.
So.
I mean,
Interesting.
I've wanted to watch Top Gun because apparently there's some like homosexual undertone.
They're pretty overtoned. There is an entire scene
undertones.
of many shirtless, ripped, oily men playing volleyball.
Oh, yeah.
And,
No wonder I wasn't allowed to watch it. Like from the jump when this guy started talking, I was like, this is. I think he just earned an S tier in the worst characters of this
Hell
show.
yeah.
Fuck this guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he yells at Brendan, saying, obviously I don't know what I'm talking about. I've only been in the film industry for 35 years. And then even asked, does the name Joel Schumacher mean anything to you? Even brings up the movie Batman and Robin, saying, I was there on the set. Brendan asks if he directed it, and the counselor specialized, no, I was there. Craft services, 3 months, bragging that he got to feed Joel Schumacher every day. He was a health nut, boiled potatoes, no butter.
The thing that kills me is they threw Joel Schumacher in here as like a joke because he's known as the bad director because he did Batman and Robin, which is like the worst movie of all time. But he also did The Lost Boys, which is a classic film.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Listen, I know, like we got to put it on the list, and I'm sorry for that reaction, but it's such a good fucking movie.
From here, we transition from that camp counselor to the woman camp counselor, who proceeds to say, horrible, with a bunch of kids laughing. So we see Jason, who apparently is trying to do a scene dressed as a witch doctor. And the woman counselor points out, you've never acted before.
He's 8.
He's
No,
7.
he's 7.
Okay, 7. I don't mean to like, but he didn't pack any clothes, right?
Right.
I doubt they gave him that outfit. I think that's the only thing he packed.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So Jason pushes back and says he has acted. But the counselor pushes back even more and says you haven't really acted before. Acted with your hands, acted with your body, acted with props, acted with face glitter, and finally Jason admits, okay, I haven't acted with face glitter. Jason claims that she cut him off before he could get far into the script, and she admits, yeah, I did because your acting lacked form. She claims he was all willy-nilly, dilly, lily, gilly, schmilly all over the place.
I really did hate her. I just hate tearing apart somebody because they don't know, like, I don't know, the rule book of certain art pieces, because it's art. And, I know it's a cartoon. I know they're trying to make them, like, pieces of shit, but come on.
Plus, they're just kids.
They are just kids.
They're just babies.
They should learn to have fun with the things that they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know it's like a whole, like, because of story, but honestly, they should be rock stars at this camp. They do have a bunch of work. They know what they're doing.
Yeah. I think this lady and that dude are just overcompensating because they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Right.
They're all so jealous.
Yeah.
Incredibly jealous. I mean, you could spend the entire weekend watching, like, only their films, and you still wouldn't be done by the end of that weekend.
Yeah. We pull back and see a very hot Brendan sitting under a tree while Melissa asks what this lady is talking about. And Brendan confesses he can't pay attention because it's so fucking hot.
He did say that. He did say fuck.
Did they bleep it?
Yeah, they did.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah.
And you know where else it's really hot? Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really hot in Florida.
Very, very hot.
Interesting.
And that's where, never mind. I just put together that's what you were implying. I thought earlier just talking about the weather of Florida. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty hot there.
Yeah, it is. Flow rider.
We see the male counselor yelling at Rabbit Troop that music class should have started 10 minutes ago. And Mike explains they're just going over the course plan. The counselor yells for Rabbit Troop to get it together, and one kid follows the counselor and throws out a quick, Rabbit Troop sucks.
What's wrong with Rabbit Troop?
Nothing.
So Mike and Miguel start teaching about music with this song. I kind of want to play the song.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that.
I am just a note. I am all alone. I need a friend. Where is my friend?
I'm another note. You are not alone. We're singing in harmony.
What's up, guys? I got here late.
I just needed to hear that part again.
Oh, it's the I got here late part that tickles me for sure.
I just love Dwayne slowly coming into
From the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
And now that I can officially do that earworm, and you guys will know what it's coming from.
I have heard you say that randomly at some point. I don't know when it was, but I do remember you saying that, and I go, What was that?
As the chronically late friend, you probably did hear me say that a couple times.
Oh, God is that.
Yeah.
Anytime Marcin walks in late from now on.
I mean,
What's up, guys?
I got here late.
literally, literally me and Eddie were talking, and he's like, "That's just who you are. I gotta accept that.
Yeah.
I can't tell you. I can't beat you any more than I already have."
Adele and I are very chill about it, except for one date on. I
Well,
won't
don't say
say
the
the
actual
exact
date,
date,
please.
but you will not be late to our wedding.
Oh, absolutely. No, I will be there before. In
I
the
was
tent.
like, I will pay for a hotel room to get you there the day before if we need to.
Yeah.
Love that.
Okay. Well, this is a big scene.
I loved this scene.
Let's just off the rip, let me say, this is a Damon Wong scene.
Yeah.
I know this. I know this from commentary. And you get the vibe for it because Damon Wong has been brought up by every person I've interviewed as to how much of a fucking rock star he is.
I was just going to say, I know we just saw 2 clips, but can we watch this one too? I know we want to talk about all the little bits of it too, but it's just such a good scene.
Do you want to play it muted and I can just kind of, because as a audio podcast, it's probably not going to translate well because it's just going to be
true.
McGurk going, I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy.
That's true.
Ooh,
Okay.
is it?
I don't think so.
My only thing is like as in the UPN 5 when they had a camp episode where everybody was in the dark and
Right.
it was just darkness and shadows and little bitty stars in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
Night and day.
To
Oh,
this
yeah.
now, we've got the lighting. We've got shadows. I can see the shadow of the leaves from the trees from the moonlight on McGurk's back.
Yeah.
It's crazy because the way it opens up is like the camera's zooming in, the bushes are like pulling apart as they're
so
going
good.
in. He's
Very
rocking back and
cinematic.
forth.
Yep. Rocking back and forth, saying people have to be looking for me, right? I mean, I have friends. He keeps repeating, I don't want to die, laughing to himself, and now we see him and Crywalker's running through the forest as he starts saying, I'm not crazy, I'm not crazy. So we have a series of hallucinations, and we can break them down. I've got them all here in order. We start with McGurk's severed head among some soccer balls.
Wait, do we? I thought it was the snake eating the owl.
We're talking about the hallucinations.
Oh, right. Okay,
the
sorry.
snake, I believe the snake actually eats the owl,
Yeah.
but it does show it a
Twice,
couple of times.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh.
Okay. Damn. Marcin just happened to pause on the second hallucination.
Oh my god.
So again, first hallucination, we got McGurk's severed head among some soccer balls. That will come back a little bit later.
Okay.
Marcin has paused it on the second hallucination, which is a blonde Stephanie covered in blood.
That's crazy.
Is that supposed to be a reference to Carrie?
It appears so. There's like a fire in the background. She's covered in blood. I'd say it's very safe to say this is a Carrie reference.
That's like Final Destination. It's like you're having a premonition, man.
So we have, this is a really, really quick one. The hallucination after this is like a black and white shot of McGurk dressed as a woman
From
combing his hair in a mirror.
from The Ring.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's a shot in
Yeah.
the ring, yeah. Good eye.
Nice. I thought that was like a Norman Bates kind of thing, but I think you're right. That is more of like The Ring because she like comes out of the...
There's definitely a scene on the videotape they watch in The Ring where there is a woman brushing her hair in the
mirror like
in the
that.
mirror. Yeah.
It's only that one and then the well of her crawling out of it because I remember as a kid, the only time I ever watched The Ring, whenever the black and white parts would come up, I'd look away because I'm not... I was so scared of seeing it.
spooky.
It's a really
spooky
crazy one.
Well, the next hallucination, speaking of crazy, we got
Oh!
Mr. Lynch in a Buffalo Bill style pose wearing makeup.
And you're gonna tell me they're not fucking?
Oh, we've
I
been
never
no.
said that.
We've been no.
I never said that.
I think it was just a generalized. I know I was looking at you when I said it, but it was just as a general.
I was like, I never said that. I never said that.
Oh my god.
So this is a scene from Silence of the Lambs with Buffalo Bill. He's got tucked, but Lynch has underwear on. Makes sense.
It's got the little death butterfly.
yeah, from the album.
cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The album.
I mean,
appears-
he does have an album.
It appears he does have pierced nipples,
And lamb lotion.
and next to him is a bottle of lamb lotion.
Mm.
And that cardigan, super cool. Super good.
Yeah.
So McGurk has feel like they're yeah, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah. I love in the beginning because he's like, I have friends, right? And he's thinking about all of his friends, Stephanie, Lynch.
Well,
That's crazy.
next we see a cry walker standing on a beach with a lighthouse in the distance.
That was so fucking quick. This
That was a
it
very
really
quick one.
was.
I don't know if this one is a reference to anything.
I think it's The Ring as well.
Yeah, probably. And we can't even say it's a reference to The Lighthouse because The Lighthouse came out in what,
Yeah.
2019?
Yeah.
Is that a fly in like the top right?
Yeah, it's on the screen because this is in color, so it's looking at a TV screen.
Oh.
And I'm pretty sure in The Ring there's a part where people are jumping off of a cliff and there's like water in there, and
there are flies in the tape. So yeah, I think this is another Ring situation.
Damn. Yeah, that's
when
a
did
very
The Ring
good
come
one.
out? And it was around
It
this time.
was early.
I
2000s.
feel like it was early 2000s. So this episode was, I believe, the first episode of 2004.
Damn, that was a good year. Good year for music.
What?
Good year for R&B.
Wait,
I should say.
good year for music. What year did Hybrid Theory come out? Linkin Park? That was a good year for music.
Sorry, I'm looking up The Ring. Hold on. 2002, The Ring came out.
Right.
Okay, so it was a couple
Yeah,
years.
so it would have been a very fresh reference. And then the very last hallucination. Nope, this is not the last hallucination. I'm
Hybrid
sorry.
Theory came out in 2000.
Good year.
Next hallucination, we have Walter and Perry holding hands at the end of a bloody hallway.
The Shining.
And written on the back wall is Rec Cas,
Sorry,
Soccer?
which is soccer backwards.
Oh.
Sorry, Mrs. Torrance.
Oh, and I'm seeing a face in blood on the floor.
Oh
Do you
my
see that?
yeah.
God, that's so good.
Oh my god. Animators, hats off to you guys.
Yeah. It was so quick, though.
And you know what? I bet the animators had so much fun because it wasn't like scenes they had to animate. It was just like flashes.
Right.
So, oh my god.
So we do have Walter and Perry in this episode holding hands.
Cute.
The next flash is a close-up face of an evil clown with a noose in the background.
Oh, it's Candy Cane.
Now,
news.
is this a reference? I've never seen Clowns from Outer Space.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space, you're right.
Is
yeah.
that what this reference
Well,
is?
it also looks like Joker.
Ah.
And you, like, what do you get?
Yeah. So I'm not sure if this is a Killer Clowns from Outer Space or if this is just a generic evil creepy clown.
Yeah.
So we got that one. So then we have two cry walkers emerging from some water. I believe this is the double person, and they are hugging each other a little bit.
Yeah, they are. That's Walter and Perry's dads.
Adele threw something at the TV.
It was a rock. Whipped it at the TV.
Sorry.
I don't know if you guys caught this one, El Natural, but we did have.
What?
A pig in sunglasses?
And what's riding the pig in sunglasses back? It's a gnome.
I was wondering where the gnome was this episode. I couldn't find it.
What the fuck?
That was so quick.
What is this even a reference, or is this just for fun?
Maybe it's Saw.
Ah.
Yeah.
I
maybe.
have no
They
idea.
do have a lot of pigs in Saw.
Yeah. Have you seen SawCon?
Don't
Nope.
even say
Nope.
that. Don't.
We're not
You
doing
think
this
I'm
shit again.
dumb? You think I'm stupid?
You've
I don't
already
think
done
so.
that on this podcast.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
And I couldn't get you the first. I'll get
No.
you. I'll get you one of these days.
Nope. Okay, we see Coach eating some leaves, saying he hopes they aren't poisonous, and they taste poisonous, as we see a quick shot of Melissa kicking his head like a soccer ball.
How long was he out in these woods?
Seriously. We have a quick time lapse of McGurk growing old. And then we even have a quick shot of what looks like maybe a dead McGurk with a scorpion crawling across his face.
I didn't see that it was still attached. I thought it was just a severed head, and I was like, hereditary.
No. God, there's so many little details in this scene. It's insane.
It was so quick, and we literally went through like, what, 8 or 9 different references and scenes?
And like with this 5 seconds, within 5 seconds.
Yeah.
For real.
Yep.
This scene, I arguably was my favorite scene in the whole episode.
Absolutely. And again, like Damon Wong fucking crushed it, as he do.
Scorpions are scary.
And as somebody who has mental breakdowns on the regular, like, this is very accurate. And I was like, absolutely relatable.
What horror movies show up during your breakdowns?
Just scenes from life, really.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, the scene ends, and we hear McGurk say, Mama, feed me. before collapsing slow motion onto the ground.
And must I say, I really appreciated the echo that
Yeah.
was going on in this scene.
Oh, even at one part he yells, "Echo, echo."
Yeah, it was so good. Oh, I didn't even see the food.
Here we go. The next scene, we have the male counselor walking in front of some food items. We see Alfred Hitchcock stir fry, Woody Allen takeout, and Quentin Tarantino's Big Kahuna burgers.
I don't the stir fry and the takeout in question marks. Is that supposed to be like references to
Maybe.
what their works? Or
I've
whatever?
only seen one Woody Allen movie, and I was
I was never a big Woody Allen thing, and I almost wrote this down, but I didn't. The Alfred Hitchcock stir fry. Am I seeing like bird wings and stuff?
Yeah.
Is that like a
See
reference
that?
to the
The
birds?
Yeah.
the only Woody Allen movie I've seen was for psych class, and it was a movie about the woman he never got over. It was a great movie. I won't dispute that, but like I've never been interested in continuing watching Woody Allen films.
And I think that's okay.
Yeah.
100% okay.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
So he begins by asking what he's holding in his hand, and Brendan says it's a tangerine. The counselor yells, "No, it's a clementine in case I run into James Cameron, director of what? That's right, the Titanic. Because James Cameron loved clementines."
You're not going to run into James Cameron unless you have a scuba diver.
I see him on the set, and I say, "Hey, Dr. Fruit, what's it going to be today? More fruit?" And then we would laugh because we worked on the same movie together.
Someone's been daydreaming about James Cameron.
It's so accurate for me because he keeps going on about James Cameron, and that's just what the other background actor was going on about James Cameron in Avatar. Like, oh, I was on Avatar. It's like, shut up, shut up.
All right, next we have Brendan and Jason in some water. Brendan is complaining the water is somehow hotter than the air, and Jason tells him not to talk right now because he's peeing.
Point deduction.
Gross Jason has made a comeback in this episode.
Yeah, he has. We pan over, and it's the woman counselor trying to get Melissa to come into the water.
Which, not all the kids are in the water, so why are you picking on Melissa?
Because she's vulnerable.
Oh, look at her. She's so sad.
And the thing is, like, I feel this so much because we at camp we had to do things for badges, and one of them was like swimming like towards the other end and then coming back. And the whole way towards the river, we were just like the counselors behind us were talking about crocodiles and talking about how they found a crocodile in a river.
That's fucked up.
Like,
That's rude.
And so like all in my head, and I wrote this down the whole time while I'm in there. I was so fucking terrified. I was because you can't see anything. It's dark in there.
Yeah.
You don't want to swim, and all I could think of was just Lake Placid and the movie.
Yes. Fucking Lake Placid.
Lake Placid, and from the Creep Show 2, The Raft. That's all I could think of. And so I was freaked out. So I felt her pain here, especially when she starts having her hallucination.
I mean, Betty White is pretty scary in that movie.
Yeah, she's fucking terrifying. And she's a petty ass. Oh, you're going to kill my crocodile? Fuck those humans, but don't kill my babies. That's
Let
not
me
her
just
voice.
sacrifice this cow real quick.
Yeah.
Anyway.
What happened to your husband? His pee-pee.
Carol Baskin.
Killed her husband. Whacked him.
Well, Melissa says she's going to get back to Rabbit Troop, and we hear someone off screen yell, "Rabbit Troop sucks!" And Melissa points to them and agrees, yeah, Rabbit Troop does in fact suck. The counselor claims she's going to count to 3, and Melissa better be on her way to being into the water or she'll get in trouble. And that's when we see Melissa's little hallucination, a large blob rise up in the water, and showing Melissa's view, and she's, why she's afraid of the water. We even see like little water hands kind of crawling across the dock towards Melissa. So finally she runs away with the counselor yelling to get back here. So after that, we're on the front stoop of the cabin with Mike saying that they need to think of something good for the final performance.
Brendan looks dead.
Yeah. His hair is all fucked.
He's so hot.
Oh, yeah. Brendan Small in commentary said he personally hates like hot weather, so it was very easy to make the character of Brendan just be fucking miserable in the heat.
He's wrong, but
Jason says who cares, and Dwayne agrees, saying people are just going to make fun of them again. Miguel even says everyone thinks that Rabbit Troop sucks, and Jason says he can't believe he's being called the worst actor. Brendan says he's being called the worst writer/director, And all three of the counselors think they are the worst junior music counselor. That's when Miguel starts singing, Rabbit Troop sucks.
You're just trying to make people think I think Coolsville sucks.
Rabbit Troop sucks.
I like how Jason was like, it really does.
It totally blows. The song ends with Brendan asking where Melissa is, and I think Jason's even like, all right, play it again, boys.
I love how it opens up in the next scene, and it's like all shadowed down. You just see the shadow silhouettes of Brendan and Jason, like kind of just like not even really being animated, but they're just like hopping up and down, twisting with the lights flashing everywhere.
And I like it too because they're looking for Melissa. We see a silhouette of what could easily be Melissa, but when they shine their flashlights on it, it's a tree that happens to look exactly like Melissa. So Jason is very concerned, saying that their flashlights might run out of battery soon and they should get back. And that's when they hear Melissa trying to get their attention because she found a sign that says "Help Me" made out of sticks and rocks. When she points to it, we see McGurk reach out and grab Melissa's hand, and they all scream.
I think I would pass away in that moment.
Yeah.
I also, real ones, Brendan and Jason, for actually going out to find Melissa, because I don't know if I would have had the courage to go out into the darkness. Like,
oh yeah.
Damn, I guess I'm dying in the woods.
Like,
guys.
I would eventually, because the guilt
I would have
eat...
gone. I'd go in a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah, you will die. It's fine. But the guilt would have eaten me alive. But, like, oh, my God, why'd you go out into the forest? Get back here.
God damn it.
Brendan asks Coach what he's doing out there, and Coach tells Brendan to try these leaves. They're poisonous.
I must say, McGurk and a beard, not a bad look.
Not a bad look.
I think it looks good.
He looks very approachable, honestly.
Yeah,
He's got a nice little castaway thing.
You know what he looks like? Somebody I'd give a hug.
Yeah. Someone who needs a hug for sure.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
So now we're back at the cabin with Coach and the kids. He's explaining about the Cry Walkers. Coach claims they're a cult, and he needs to be there until things cool off. Well, Melissa asks if they're trying to kill him, and Coach is like, not exactly. They're trying to hug me and make me cry. So they tell Coach they believe him and immediately have a side conversation saying, yeah, he's out of his mind. Coach approaches them and tells them that he needs food, fast food preferably, and beer, light beer preferably.
I didn't picture him to be a light beard type of guy.
Well, Brendan asks Melissa to fake write this down. And he goes on to say he needs a satellite map of the entire area, some hair dye, a fake mustache, and some gunpowder.
What was he going to do with all of those things?
I don't know.
Go incognito, blow some shit up? I don't know. Melissa asks if he would settle for marshmallows, and he says yes, they can make s'mores. Even asks if they have graham crackers and chocolate, and Melissa's like, no.
They have marshmallows, but not like stuff to make s'mores at camp.
You know these two counselors are skimping on everything they can.
That's true.
They couldn't think of any director that only had marshmallows in them. Right. Wait a second, who directed Ghostbusters?
After this, we see Brendan, Jason, and Melissa carrying a bunch of marshmallows through the woods. They stop and point out that the marshmallows might have gone bad because they smell weird, but slowly realize it's not the marshmallows that smell bad. It's them. They haven't showered in over a week.
Oh, has it been a week? I guess it must be. They did say that.
Well, I think they said they haven't showered since they got there.
Yeah. I mean, they're supposed to be at camp for a week.
Right.
Yeah.
Jason points out in classic season 1 Jason that he has been consistently wetting his pants as well.
Point deduction.
So that's when the camp counselors show up and ask them where they're going with all those marshmallows. I like it. Melissa's like, somebody told us to take them. And they're just like, anyway, they got word that there's a weirdo on the loose in the woods and asked if they've heard anything about it. They say he's emotionally messed up or in denial or something. The kids deny seeing or hearing anything, but as they go to leave, the woman counselor tells Melissa they still have some swimming to do. Melissa says, unfortunately, she forgot her bathing suit, and the counselor tells her she can borrow one of hers.
You know what vibe she gives me, the woman counselor? Miss Trenchable from Matilda?
Yeah, from Recess? Oh, no, from Matilda.
Matilda, yes.
I was thinking the principal from Recess.
Oh, the principal? Was the guy or the...
Which was the old woman?
Not the principal.
Okay. I haven't watched Recess in fucking 10 years.
But she at least has some... Like, she's grouchy, but she's got some heart. And this has been rewatching Recess.
Well, I love this. The full moon transitions into the sun, and we see the woman counselor telling the kids to braid the twine, braid the hard and malleable twine in the hot, hot sun.
This scene, just because when I've been in camp and like, hey, you got to do the twiddle, you got to make the baskets, make the baskets, but then it just slowly pans over to Jason, Melissa, and Brendan, who are all still like they got that
Just
1,000-yard
cooking.
gauge.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're looking rough.
Yeah. Well, she gets to Rabbit Troop, and that's when she points out, who smells horrible? So that's when we transition to Brendan and Jason in the tub getting ready to be bathed, and Melissa saying she's going to volunteer not to. Even implies she doesn't even want to be around the hose water. Brendan and Jason start arguing that Jason's acting wasn't that good, and Jason points out, well, your movie didn't go over very well, did it? Brendan blames Jason's acting. Jason pushes back and says not much acting you can do when the material's not there.
Damn.
Well, Melissa joins in to ask Brendan, whose wing are they going to be taken under? What happened to the overdogs, huh? Because this is the point in like any movie or show or wherever where it's like the friends are at their lowest. So that's when Brendan is like, guys, we have to stick together through this. We are all that we have.
Collective bargaining. Stick together.
Yep. Well, Jason even points out it's us against them. And that's when they do. Rabbit ears up. Rabbit paws in. I like it. Melissa even like kind of scurries away like a rabbit as they get drenched in water.
So is she just afraid of water and not even just like deep water?
It seems like it.
Yeah. She probably is more of a shower gal.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Probably watched like Nightmare on Elm Street once.
Never saw it.
See, I feel like I had a water thing for a little because there was an episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark with some weird water shit going on.
Great show.
Yeah, it really was.
Gonna be a clean bean, a clean bean.
Yep, we get the Clean Bean song. I like that song.
Yeah, it's very catchy.
So now we're in the cabin at night. It wasn't until I had to like lay these scenes down like chronologically. So Brendan's sleeping on the bottom bunk, but at one point we do see him open his eyes. So he's like fake sleeping so he doesn't have to talk to Coach. Coach is peeking down from the top bunk, asking Brendan if he's awake. Then he asks him, hey, can you smell that? So that was me. It's fun because it's camp. And somebody shushes him and he says shush back. And then that's when we see the cry walkers like come over a ridge and the main guy like sniffs the air and he's like, he isn't far from here. Which just happens to happen right after McGurk lets one rip because it's fun because it's camp.
Yeah.
I disagree.
I do want to, not to backtrack too much, but the Clean Bean song ended with them holding both their heads underneath the water.
It's Clean Bean.
Catchy song.
Melissa looks rank. She's got like mud all over her feet. And
her hair is in disarray. There's a twig sticking out.
Oh, she looks miserable.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We have Brendan, Jason, and Melissa. They're getting ready for the big performance. Jason is like, who cares? And Melissa suggests they leave them hating us. Brendan agrees, saying they should burn every bridge they can. They have a quick discussion about whose turn it is to feed McGurk. And that's when Paula approaches with Josie. And everyone freaks out, asking what she's doing there. Paula points out they all smell horrible. And she's there for the big performance. The kids are telling Paula that she might not like what she sees, and she's like, no, I'm sure I'll like it. And Brendan tells her, no, Mom, you're going to want to start the car and leave it running, because we're about to make some major enemies here.
Yeah. I love how she doesn't stop them. She's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
You got to make your own mistakes, I suppose.
Right? She's a cool mom.
Paula's always been pretty cool about creative control.
Yeah. Plus, I feel like Paula understands, like, if they are trying to burn bridges, that it's probably for a good reason.
Yeah.
She learned her lesson last time she sent Brendan to Fenton's.
Yeah. Yep.
Absolutely. Well, we have a disheveled Melissa walk on stage saying, welcome to the Rabbit Troop show. We hear someone in the crowd yell, Rabbit Troop sucks! And Melissa gives a curtsy and says, thank you.
I love how throughout the episode, their reactions to Rabbit Troop sucks, like, evolves.
Right. Melissa continues to say she wants to take them to a magical place where nearly anything can happen. A fiery pit of hell they like to call Camp Campingston Falls. That's when Brendan comes out as the male counselor, calling everyone a bunch of stupid idiots, welcoming them to hell, saying that he is in league with Satan. That's when Jason comes up as the acting counselor, and they call each other's stupid, dumb idiots and a toothless moron hick.
Jason looks really cool here.
Yeah, he's got his nipples out. Brendan, as the counselor, says they should slowly torture Rabbit Troop while they reward the other crappy campers. Jason, as a woman counselor, agrees, but says first they should call upon their good friend Satan.
Yes, let's go.
Melissa looks pretty dope here.
Yeah, she cleaned up pretty quick.
Yeah,
she really
did.
did.
So yeah, Melissa comes out dressed as Satan.
Love that.
Brendan tells her to crank up the heat in this disgusting crap hole while we drain the life out of these pathetic, run-of-the-mill, talentless children. Melissa says, sounds good to me. Let there be devil music. And that's when the curtain opens and we see Dwayne, Mike, and Miguel dressed up. I believe they're supposed to be like a three-headed Cerberus, like the dog.
Oh, yeah. It went by so quick when we were watching.
Yeah.
I could not stop. Now that I have it paused, I can see.
Yep, we got
Scab.
in the background, all dressed in like demonic different costumes.
It's so good.
Her fucking guitar is so badass.
Right?
And they sing the super catchy song, Welcome to Hell. Welcome to hell. You're gonna burn down there.
Oh, God, it's so good.
We show the audience who's like in disbelief. So we have a quick shot of Coach pacing in the cabin. As he leaves, he starts hearing people whisper, Cloud Chaser. Cloud Chaser. This scene, he gets surrounded by hooded figures, and he's yelling at them to get away and runs off. But just oh my God, dude, this scene, like the cinematography of it, like all the robed figures are kind of moving in as you're kind of panning in a circle around all of them. It's like really, really well done.
Yeah.
And the lighting coming from above, like, because they come out of the shadows into the light from the cabin, and you see yellow. But like when they are further in the distance, just the light from the moon is shining on top of them. It's really good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Season 4 is just next level.
Yep.
Compared to season 1,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about like maybe we do like one more trip through the UPN 5 after watching season 4 to see just how night and day it is, because it is crazy.
Yeah. Well, Coach runs away and runs off towards the water. So we cut back to the Rabbit Troop's big performance. Brendan dressed up as a demon, now telling everyone to join in as he's ripping the heads off of a stuffed bear and moose and putting them on his horns. So we then get a quick shot of Melissa. She's out by the water holding marshmallows, and she encounters a drowning Coach McGurk. He's like flailing and asking for help, and all she's doing is asking if he still wanted the marshmallows. So he keeps yelling for help, and Melissa's like, I can't hear you. And she's like asking him to repeat himself, like, one more time. And finally, Coach is like, Melissa, save my life. And her last question kills me. She's like, is it cold?
Little twinkle in her eyes because she's so scared.
Yeah.
So we cut back to the Rabbit Troop performance. Brendan and Jason are headbanging, throwing up demon horns. The counselors are finally walking up to shut it down. And as they're getting pushed off stage, Brendan asks Jason, what happened to Melissa? And that's when Jason says, look over there.
So, do you remember that song that played at the end of Pizza Club when Brendan was looking at this screen and saw Cynthia, and how it like led into like a really cool action-packed song?
Yeah.
For some reason, even though he's supposed to be mournful, whatever. This is where that song should have been playing. Right there when Jason's like, look!
Oh my gosh. As he says, look over there, the music swells, and it's like that, welcome to hell.
You know what connection I just made?
What's that?
The heads on the horns are a moose and a bear because those are the
Other troops.
the troops that they represent. I'm dumb.
No.
You go through this episode a couple times. There's some shit we probably missed already.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. But yeah, and I like how they stick them on their horns when they're dressed up as little demons.
Melissa coming in holding the rope in her teeth. We see her teeth.
Fucking badass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Floating on the bag of marshmallows. dragging Coach to safety. We get that top shot. That top-down view. So good.
Again, the lighting, man. And then the moon in the background as she's just like beating the shit out of McGurk.
Melissa likes to beat the shit out of people.
So, again, another check there of why this is Adele's new favorite episode. Melissa being fucking badass.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Music, Dwayne, Melissa being a badass.
Absolutely. Yeah. The music in this episode is so good.
So good.
So yeah, Melissa's pounding on his chest, telling him to breathe, damn it. Coach very quickly wakes up, says he's breathing, but Melissa continues to pound on his chest. So another time that Melissa is hitting someone well after she needs to be. So Paula eventually pulls Melissa off of Coach. Brennan and Jason approach. Very impressed with Melissa that the fact that she swam. Jason even says Mazel Tov. Paula says she has the car running, and after that performance, they should probably get going.
I think I just noticed that Melissa has lipsticks on.
Oh, yeah.
It's from her Satan costume.
Yeah, I didn't even notice it.
As they're talking, you hear Coach McGurk quietly sobbing. Brennan asks him if he's okay. Paula asks what he's doing, and Coach says he's crying. And it feels so good.
I did quote that. I said in here, wrote down, I was crying, signed Cloud Chaser.
Yeah. He gives Brendan and Melissa a hug. Jason, scurries away before he gets caught up in that.
Yeah, he hasn't showered either.
No.
Right.
He tells them to cry with him. Paula asks if he needs a ride, and he tells them to go on without him because he's going to go back to the woods.
Oh, I also wrote that down. I'm going back to the woods, quote, me at any given moment.
Yeah. It's funny because he's running off, and Brendan is like, why is he taking off his clothes? Coach screams, you don't know what you're missing. And then screams, see you in a year, assholes.
That's what he said. It got bleeped, so I wasn't sure what the swear was.
Before running into the forest. And as he's running into the forest, you see some of the cry walkers.
Yeah.
Kind of leaning over. I think it was the two guys again.
Yeah.
And there's Gary.
Gary.
Or Feathernest, whatever his name was.
Yeah.
And that is the end of Season 4, Episode 2. Camp.
Standing O. Loved it.
Standing O.
Standing orgasms from all of us.
I was gonna say also O face.
Standing O faces.
What was the last thing when he started hugging them? What did he say?
I think he tells them to cry with him.
Cry with me. It feels so good letting go.
It's that scene from Midsummer when all of the girls are crying at the Scary.
It's a beautiful scene.
Beautiful. Scary.
What a fun episode. McGurk literally and figuratively running from emotions, not wanting to cry, not wanting to hug, not wanting to be in touch with his emotions.
And moral of the story, they'll catch up to you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. They will. They'll tear you down, and they'll make you run back into the forest naked.
For a year, apparently.
Yeah. Also, Cloud Chaser has a Hank Hill ass. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does.
I am so sorry.
But he's got a great beard.
He does have a great beard.
Yeah.
100%. All right. Well, as tradition dictates, for such a great episode, I was like, we got some glimpses.
Of gross Jason.
We got some glimpses of gross Jason.
But, he's authentically himself.
It's true. And I'm sorry, if you can't be gross at camp, where are you going to be gross?
In your own time.
Fair. All right. What?
He's authentically himself. I know a lot of assholes that are authentically themselves.
What are we giving Jason here?
Okay, so I was going back and forth on this because there was very many points where he was like, I'm gross. But I also factored in that it wasn't necessarily his fault. Even though... Wait a second. It might be. Why? How are all the other kids not taking... they're taking showers, for sure. They're not the ones that are
They also have clean clothes, though.
Right.
Okay. Whose fault is that?
His parents, right? Weren't they the ones that dropped him off at camp without a fucking change of clothes?
He thought it was day camp. And Brendan also thought it was day camp. So
Yeah.
I don't want to I will give him the benefit of the doubt on that front. But also, what do you mean you've been wetting your pants the entire time? You can go piss in the woods. There are bathrooms aplenty around
That's
here.
true. Maybe he wets the bed, and he sleeps in his only clothes.
Point deduction. Like,
He can't help it if he's sleeping and peeing.
okay, you don't have to sleep in your clothes and pee in.
I guess.
You can just put those covers on. It's hot out.
He's
Why?
got to sleep naked with his friends in the room. A real asshole would do that.
Well, it's camp. That's fun. It's fun. at
No,
camp.
no.
No.
But just like trying to factor everything, trying to be fair as much because he was also like being tortured by like adults.
Yeah.
So I wanted to give him a worse grade. Genuinely, I did. But like I'm giving him a C+.
It's not bad. It's passing.
I wanted to give him a lower grade because he was coming back. He was going back somewhere, and you kind of have to like, smack the wrist a little bit. Be like, no, don't do that. Go forward. Keep going.
But then he stuck it to the man at the end.
He did stick it to several
men and a woman.
Yes, and the entirety of Rabbit Troop, they fought for the name of Rabbit because Brendan was holding up a rabbit stuffed animal at the same time as they were destroying all the other ones. So he was representing.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Rabbit Troop forever. All right. Let us get into grades for this episode. Who wants to go first?
Me.
Adele.
Well, I think it's no question that this is my new favorite episode. I mean, you got Dwayne, obviously. You have Melissa conquering her fears.
Yeah.
To save McGurk, which is great. Music, great. Loved Melissa as Satan, and just the Welcome to Hell song at the end. Just put it all in a nice, pretty package for me. S+.
Oh, wow.
She did it.
I fucking did it, and I'm not apologizing.
Nor should you.
No.
Yeah.
So good. So good. And you know what, fellas? Cry.
Yeah.
Fucking cry,
when
okay?
when it opened up on that, and just like, we're men. We are men holding each other. And McGurk's like, fuck this shit. Where's the beer?
Everyone cry walk with me.
Yeah. Everybody deserves to cry.
Yeah.
You know?
Dude,
holding
I'm
it back
sorry.
is-
A good cry in the woods sounds fucking phenomenal right now.
Yeah.
Oh, you could let out some screams.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know that feeling? Because I'm sure we've all cried in front of somebody before.
Oh,
and they always like, don't cry. I'm like, no!
Let me
I want to feel this!
I've never been like, don't cry. Let it out, dude.
Yeah.
Do what you got to do.
There's that panic, though, because you don't, like, no one, like, really teaches you what to do when someone starts crying around you. You start panicking, you're like, what am I, like, oh, my God. But it's good. It's good to cry.
Yeah.
I love watching sad movies. I love watching emotional things, and I love crying. Crying is good. And McGurk was running away from it the entire time.
Yeah.
You can only run for so long.
Yeah.
Caught up to him in the end.
And he admitted that it was good for him.
Yeah.
I would love it if this was like something that followed into future episodes of like McGurk being a little bit more emotional, but we know it's not going to happen.
Well, just from Coffins and Cradles, where it's like, Brennan, film me, Brennan. I will not do this anymore. And then we've seen him like drinking a lot of. He drank all of the beer at the mandate or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
The mandate, indeed. So
Was Gary the guy that was trying to sell him the battery?
I don't think his name was Gary. I don't remember what it was.
I don't think they ever said his, or maybe they did once at the very beginning.
Yeah.
But I mean, that could be how he found out about it.
Right.
Who's to say?
Who's to say?
Also, Cloud Chaser is just a sick name. I don't
Yeah.
care.
Very
McGurk,
good
why
name.
do you not like that name? It's sick. I didn't know what was going on. I have my cloud hat on, and I have a shirt that says "Head in the Clouds."
Hell yeah.
I got my cloud earring. Great name.
You didn't even know that
Had
you were
no
dressed
idea.
in theme.
Yeah. Love clouds. Chase the clouds.
I'm
Well-
sure McGurk wanted something more badass sounding, like
Right.
fucking Bloody Fist or some shit.
Right.
Phoenix Fist.
Yeah.
So I'll go next. Obviously, it's an A+. It's a really, really,
Yeah.
really easy A+. I want to say, but when we get to the tier list, I think I should be able to give like 3 S's for episodes based off my top 3. That's my plan. I'm gonna give an S+, an S, and an S-. That's my plan, to give 3 episodes an S. This is in high contention because it was I knew when I found out that there's gonna be a musical episode, I was like, okay, well that one's gonna do some things to me because I love musicals, and so the easiest A+. I can't even think about it because like from the get go I was like Cloud Chaser. I'm like, okay, well this is gonna be an A+.
I'm gonna tell you something right now. you're going to have a very, very hard time picking 3. I would say you'd have a hard time picking 3 from this season, let alone overall.
Yeah.
So the one, because I've only, based off of the 3 seasons we've seen already, I've only wanted to give out like a handful of S's, and I can't remember any of them except for Coffins and Cradles. So that's one of them, I think. I don't know. Who knows when we get there.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's where I'm aiming for. And you know what? By the time I might say, fuck me. I'm going to give them more.
Yeah.
But
I'm going to give out so many S's
Right?
when we do the tier list.
You're
It's gonna be
boxing
ridiculous.
yourself into only 3 S's.
that's who I am. The box ghost.
I'm the box man.
Well, I think this is another A+ in parentheses, potential S from Marcin.
Yeah.
So 100% agree. And I'll even, you know what? Everything you guys said, 100%. The earworms, the music, everything in this episode, just it hits just right. Easiest S+ I've ever given out.
Nice.
Really? Okay.
yeah.
That's crazy. I didn't expect S pluses from all of. Oh God.
Sorry.
No, not a bad thing at all. I just didn't expect this episode to be that fucking good. You know what I mean?
It just scratched so many itches.
Yep.
I was waiting for Little Mama to pop up at some.
That would have been the cherry on top.
Yeah.
Well, we got to surprise Stephanie, which was
that
Yeah,
was crazy.
That's true.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was her and her cult leader like get up. The blood and the flames.
Oh.
Yeah. All in all,
Classic.
such a good episode.
Season 4.
Beautifully animated.
So good.
So good, and we're 2 episodes in.
It's been, dare I say, a delight to just see the progression from each season. And then for this to be the final season. Oh, I'm so excited to watch the
So
rest of
good.
it.
Guys, we got some great episodes coming up, and I mean, not even like in a few weeks, like, yeah. We're going to have a fun time next week and the week after and the week after. We're going to have fun. I'm excited.
I'm trying my best because the remote records are fine, but like doing it in person is so much different. The energy is so much different, and then because this is the last season, it's like I want to be there throughout like every single episode. I don't want to say that I will because it's fucking drive,
Yeah.
but I enjoy this show so much more than I thought I would. And everyone for years has been telling me to watch this show. For years, people have told me to watch this show. And I've always just been like, I don't know. I don't know yet. I don't know if it's the vibe. Especially the way that we just binge shows and we just like get rid of it. We just completely forgot about them. I think watching every episode like once and just letting it kind of ruminate has been the way to go for this show. It really has.
Absolutely.
Part of me, so the whole like episode per week thing, especially while watching Severance, was like, I just want to see it now. But like you said, it gives us a moment to sit and really analyze each episode and appreciate it.
Yeah.
Because holy shit, that's a lot of fucking work. And
Yeah.
it's so easy to go, oh, it's ugly. Well, it's an art style. But
Yeah.
just because at first glance it's quote unquote ugly doesn't mean that it's not beautiful.
Yeah.
I think I would have given it a chance if the first episode, the first clip I ever saw of home movies wasn't, Jason wiggling his finger going, I put this up my ass to get the poop out.
I recently spoke with somebody because obviously home movies has become a little bit of my life as of late. And I spoke with somebody who said, I know how much you like it. I know you got the podcast. I started watching at season 1, got almost all the way through season 2, and I just wasn't feeling it. And I immediately thought of that meme of the dude mining and he stops like right before all the diamonds. And I was like, hey man, you do you. I'm just saying like maybe please just a little bit, like just try, just jump into season 3.
Right.
All right, gang. I mean, anything else about this episode or is that going to do it for us?
Great episode.
So good.
I need to just say that.
Yeah, great episode.
So many earworms.
Yeah.
I'm glad I got through this one because this has been the one where I'm like, once it comes, because this has been the one I've heard about the most from season 4. I don't know anything else because it's camp and it's a musical. I have no idea going forward what's happening, and I want to keep it that way.
Yep. We're in for a treat, gang.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Let's fucking go.
Well, I guess the last thing I have to say is, What's up, guys? I got here late. That's going to do it for this episode of Rewatching Home Movies. Join us next week for Season 4, Episode 3, Bye Bye Greasy. Thanks to Nick for the refresh of our logo, and Chris Bongat for the lo-fi version of our theme song. If you liked what you heard, check out our Linktree at Linktree/RHMPod. There you can like, follow, and subscribe. Support us on TipJar, send us an email to request free stickers, or leave us a 5-star review. I will read 5-star reviews on the podcast. On behalf of myself, Tim, and my co-host Marcin, and Adele, thank you for rewatching home movies with us. We'll see you next week. Bye.